Hey guys, how you doing? So yesterday on my way home from work, I made an impulse decision and bought a car that I don't really have a plan of what I'm going to do with it yet. But it's one of those situations. It came up for sale, I saw it, and I couldn't really say no to it. I think it's probably the cheapest one of these full sale in the UK that's running and driving. Doesn't have an MOT on it, but that only ran out not long ago. I'm currently sat in my car at my garage. The car's in a garage there. Let's get it out and see what it is. Okay, so as you can see, I've bought myself an R53 Mini Coupe S. The car's done 166,000 miles and has 10 previous owners. So let's have a look at it and see why I actually bought it and if I made a smart decision. Okay, so the main reason why I bought this car is because it was cheap. I was sat at work, getting ready to head home for the day, on my phone looking for an MX-5 to buy. And then this thing popped up. Clearly, it's not an MX-5. But what stood out to me most is the mods. So this car actually has some quite cool mods on it. Let me show you what they are. Okay, so the most obvious mod to the car is these JCW wheels. Whilst JCW wheels can be stock, this isn't a JCW Mini, it's just a regular Coupe S. But I'm still hoping these are genuine JCW wheels, because if they are, they're probably worth the same, if not more, than I paid for this whole car. Unfortunately, there's no way of really knowing unless you take the wheels off and have a look at the stamping on the back of them. So let's do that. Okay, so unfortunately, after removing the front wheel from the car, it does look like they're reps. So on the inside, it does have markings, but nothing that says Mini. So unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that means they are reps. I've taken some pictures. I'm going to ask on the group, so I still might have a chance they're real, but I don't think so. They are in good condition, however, so they do still make up a decent amount of what I paid for the car. So it's not all bad. Let's have a look at what else is cool about this car. Okay, so also it does suck that the wheels are most likely going to be reps. There are still some very cool things about this car that I haven't shown you. Mainly, from factory, someone equipped it really well. So as you can see, it's got this panoramic sunroof that still works. I'm quite surprised that it still works. It's an old car, it's done a lot of miles, and not many people have cared about it during its lifetime, unfortunately. Some other cool things that it has is air conditioning with climate control. Whilst on modern cars, that's kind of just standard. On an 05 Mini, that's pretty cool. It's also got cruise control and auto headlights, which are both obviously normal things to have in modern cars, but for a car that's nearly 20 years old, that's quite cool. Also things like this armrest, whilst it just is an armrest, it wasn't fitted to all of these Minis, so people still are actually buying them for quite a lot of money, considering it's just an armrest. The car also has an aftermarket catback and aftermarket headers. So it's very loud and does sound quite cool. The car's also on coilovers, which is why it's sitting so low. Unfortunately, they are just stance plus coilovers, which are like the eBay specials. But they ride all right, and the car does look cool. And also, those are going to be worth a bit more money than stock suspension, which should help me actually turn some profit on this car. So far, I've shown you a lot of good things about this car and a lot of very cool features. But obviously, there was a reason why this car was so cheap. So let me show you those. The first one is the windscreen's cracked. Don't know how well you can see it, but it's got a crack starting there, running all the way down into the middle of the windscreen. Obviously, windscreens can get quite expensive, and I don't know if I can fit a windscreen myself. Probably not, but actually it might be funny trying to do it. So if you want to see me try and fit a windscreen, please let me know. The next issue, and probably the most expensive to fix, is this nice rust hole on the back. I've never seen these cars rust that badly, so I think at some point maybe it's had a bit of a bump or something, and water's just got under the paint, and yeah, that's not good. Not sure what I'm going to do about that. I may just leave it, because the car still runs and drives with that rust hole. And it's going to cost a lot of money to fix it, and it probably won't be worth it when it comes to reselling the car. The next issue is that whilst it does run and drive, and it does run and drive all right, it feels down on power. So I think these make about 170 horsepower stock, a little 1.6 litre with a supercharger. And whilst you can hear that supercharger whine, it doesn't feel like it's actually making very much boost. So I think it might have a boost leak. It does also have a warning light on the dash. Unfortunately, I didn't bring my code reader today or when I went to buy the car. So I don't know what that is. I'm hoping it's probably just going to be a sensor or something quite easy to fix. If not the end of the world. This car was cheap. Apart from those main issues, the car's just tatty and dirty. The person who had this car before, he really liked the car and he put a lot of money into keeping it, but unfortunately he didn't do it in the best way. So he's fitted things like these really ugly aftermarket speakers that don't really fit very well. He left the car really dirty. Quite a lot of rattles just from the plastic in here, because obviously it's a nearly 20-year-old car that hasn't been loved for very much, unfortunately. He also took out the stock black and blue leather seats and put in these ugly, dirty black fabric seats. I don't know why anyone would do that, but unfortunately that's what he's done. He told me that's what he did, and he told me he went to a lot of effort to try and find these, so I guess that's what he wanted. Unfortunately, I don't like them. But at least there's no holes in them and they're not worn out too badly, which is good. Okay, so I think I'm kind of building a plan of what I want to do with this car. I think first of all, in order to actually make some money from it, I've got to take the mods off. Whilst the wheels are probably going to be reps and the coilovers are only cheap coilovers, they're worth more than standard parts, and I'm willing to bet someone on the group is going to be willing to pay cash and their original parts, both the wheels and the coilovers, because the car does look pretty cool. So that's probably what I'm going to do first. After that, I'm going to start trying to diagnose why the car's not making enough power. Hopefully it's going to be something small. It is a 20-year-old car, as I've said before, so it is likely to have boost leaks, cracked hoses, and really simple things like that that aren't going to be too expensive to fix. Okay, so there it is, my R53 Mini Coupe S. All of its good points and all of its many, many bad points. But overall, for what I paid for the car, I'm happy with it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please stick around to see what I do with this car, and also to see my upcoming project car that I think you're going to find very cool. See you guys next time.